We have a special guest today among us. The speaker is His Grace Prem Sindudas Prabhu from Columbus, Ohio. Let me just give a little introduction of Prabhuji, and then we will request Prabhuji to please start today's session, and he'll be talking wonderfully about Giriraj, the pastime of Giriraj, and the importance of Giriraj. So His Grace Prem Sindudas Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. And same way, just like Maharaj, how beautifully Maharaj sings and how melodious Maharaj sings his kirtan. Similarly, Prem Siddharas Prabhu also sings a very beautiful melodious kirtan and bhajans. He has a very nice vocal, a very great singer, does very nice kirtan. And since I know him, maybe since last 10, 12 years, he's been more than that probably, has been preaching very actively. Every morning he runs a Skype channel, and through his Skype channels he'll be chanting every morning from 3:30 a.m. and right after the chanting session he would have Nitya Bhagavatam class, and then also most of the time he will preach in the afternoon, and then every evening he will preach again. And he'll be doing a lot of home programs during the weekend, actively involved in the Columbus ISKCON temple, in the council also, and actively preaching and making very, very new devotees. So once you get in contact with Prabhuji, and if you are in contact with him probably for 3-4 sittings, you'll become a Krishna Bhakt. That's for sure, So he manufactures or he makes Krishna Bhakts. So whoever gets in contact, he does transform them from the material life to Krishna life. And a very humble devotee. You always see him. I have never seen him getting angry on anything. He's so humble. Anytime, whenever you say for preaching, whenever you say, like yesterday I call him, Prabhuji, could you please give a class tomorrow? And he's always ready for preaching. He would never look at the time when he has to preach. So humbly, and all he would do is just, if he gets any chance, he would not miss this chance to preach, talk about Krishna, talk about Bhagavatam, talk about Bhagavad Gita, talk about our Acharya who has spoken. He was always ready to talk about it, and he will narrate very nice stories and pastime. So we are very fortunate to have His Grace Prem Sindudas Prabhu today among us in the English evening session of Parthsarthi. So Prabhuji, let me tell you a little bit about Parthsarthi. Since 2020, mid 2020, somewhere around June, July, Parthsarthi Foundation, during the COVID pandemic, when everything was closed, Parthsarthi started this foundation channel via Zoom. And since then, we are having a Nitya Bhagavat Seva every morning from 8:30 a.m. onwards, and that is all the classes are in Hindi in the mornings, because you see right now there are many classes going on via Zoom or via many other online platforms or on YouTube, and they're mostly in English and very few of them in Hindi. So we started this seva in Hindi, Nitya Bhagavad Seva, and then we also had parallelly in the evening, but now in the evening we are only doing it once a week. But besides that, we also have many other activities for the kids, craft, drawings, craft with Krishna kind of a thing, drawings and story time, and also teaching shlokas and other Bhagavad Gita, lectures and all that stuff to the kids. So parallelly, Parthsarthi is also doing that. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, that you came to Parthsarthi Foundation and giving your valuable association. So let's all welcome Prabhuji by Hare Krishna Mahamantra and thank him also. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Grace Prem Sindudas Prabhu ki jai, Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, to you, Prabhuji, and we'll request you to please start the session.
Okay, so the topic today, we decided to speak on Govardhan. Since we recently celebrated Govardhan Leela, we had the month of Kartik, Damodar Leela, Govardhan Leela. So, and I also read something about Govardhan recently, and I gave a class at our ISKCON Columbus temple also. So it was quite, recent. for me. So I thought, when Bhagarai told me to speak, so I thought maybe I'll speak on Govardhan pastime. Of course, we have heard this Leela many times. Everybody knows. If you've been around devotees, then you know the pastime of Govardhan. But for my own purification, I will speak something about this. Actually, the pastimes of Krishna are ever fresh. And one symptom that we are making spiritual advancement is that it is described that we can hear and we can chant the same mantra, we can hear the same pastime, and we will feel always enlivened by the pastime, by the chanting of the holy name. So I'm not there yet, but someday I hope to reach there. So before we start, let me offer my prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we can discuss the Leela a little bit, and we can also discuss the lessons that we learned from Govardhan Leela. So I'll focus more on the lessons that we can learn from Govardhan pastime. So first thing Krishna shows from this pastime is that we don't need to worship demigods, because Indra, they were worshipping Indra. Nanda Maharaj and all the Vrajvasis were worshipping Indra in a traditional way for so many years they were worshipping Indra. And Krishna stopped Indra Puja. So Krishna is demonstrating through this pastime that if we worship Krishna, then we don't need to worship any demigods. In the Bhagavad Gita also he says that whatever boons the demigods give you, they are also coming from me. And those whose hearts have been stolen by material desires, they worship the demigods. So there's no need to worship the demigods. In the Bhagavatam it says, if you water the root of the tree, then all the parts of the tree are nourished. So you don't have to water. Demigods are the the limbs of the body of the Lord. And if we yathataror mula nishichanena tipyanti tatskanda bhujopashaka pranopaharak chayatindriyanam tathaiva sarvaranam achyutejya. Achyuta ijya. If we worship Achyuta, Krishna, then all the demigods, which are the limbs of Krishna's body, are satisfied. Just as by pouring water on the root of the tree, all the branches and all the twigs and the leaves and the flowers are all nourished. So in the same way, by worshipping Krishna, just like giving food to the stomach, all the parts of the body are nourished. So this is the first thing Krishna wants to establish. He also wants to establish that Govardhan is not different from him. So in this pastime, what happened basically, in short, I will describe a little bit, that we know the history of how Govardhan appeared in Satya Yuga, and Pulatsya Rishi was carrying him from the Himalayan region because he wanted to take him to Kashi, because he wanted a good hill to meditate upon. And then there was a condition made that Govardhan said, yes, I'll go with you, but you cannot keep me down anywhere. If you keep me down anywhere, then I'll not move. And then, Govardhan, when he was going across the Vraj area, he induced in Pulatsya Muni a desire to respond to the call of nature. And that's when Pulatsya Muni put him down, and then he would not move. So Pulatsya Muni cursed him and said that you will sing the size of a mustard seed every day. So Govardhan was very tall in Satya Yuga and has been sinking. That's how Govardhan came to Vraj area. And so every year, Nanda Maharaj and the Vrajvasis, they were offering Indra Puja, because Indra provides rain. And all the cowherd men, they are dependent on rain for for their livelihood, for their cows, the cows eat the grass, and then they make many things out of cow's milk and so many things. So agriculture, they're basically Vaishyas, Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam. So they're doing agriculture, they do cow protection. So they are dependent on Indra for rain. So they were offering their yearly puja to Indra. And when Krishna was about 7 years, he was 7 years old. So he noticed Nanda Maharaj was doing this yagna. So he asked him, Nanda Baba, you are doing this yagna? Just 1 minute. That you are doing this yagna, which guru told you to do this yagna? What is it? What is the purpose of this yagna? Like that, he asked many questions. Nanda Maharaj was initially hesitant to tell Krishna. But then he said, I'm also your family member, and I'm also your relative, close relative. I'm not your enemy, and there should be no secrets. So then Nanda Maharaj tells him that how Indra is providing rain, and so we do this puja every year. So then Krishna said, well, our needs are being provided by Govardhan, and Indra is providing rain even on the ocean when there is no need of water. So his raining is on the oceans also. He's pouring water there in the form of rain. So an ocean is not doing any yagna. So why should we worship Indra? We should worship Govardhan, because Govardhan is providing all our needs. So that is how Nanda Maharaj got convinced. He was a little bit hesitant in the beginning, because he was thinking, if we stop Indra Puja, then some calamity may come on us. So he was saying to Krishna that we'll do Indra Puja first, and tomorrow, if you say we'll do Govardhan Puja tomorrow. But Krishna said, no, why should we waste time? We should take all this paraphernalia that you have assembled for Indra Puja, and we should use it to worship Govardhan. We should worship Govardhan, we should worship the cows, because the cows are also sustaining us, and we should worship the Brahmanas. So we should take all this paraphernalia that we have, and we should worship Govardhan with that. So Nanda Maharaj, ultimately, he wants to please Krishna. This is also the mood of Rajvasi. Rajvasi means they will do anything to please Krishna. So Nanda Maharaj knew that he was stopping an age-old tradition that was going on for centuries, probably for so many generations it was going on. And he's stopping this, so he's taking a great risk, but that is the meaning of Rajvasi. He wants to please Krishna. Like we see also when Krishna played his flute, then gopis dropped everything. Although their prestige was at stake, because if they left their homes to meet Krishna in the middle of the night, then they would not be accepted back at home. So they dropped everything else just to be with Krishna, because Krishna was calling them through his flute. So this is the Vrajavasi. Vrajavasis, they have spontaneous love for Krishna, and their surrender. They're completely surrendered. They do everything in their life to make Krishna happy, to increase Krishna's pleasure. So they took all this offering and they started worshiping Govardhan. And Govardhan manifested the form of Krishna. So all the bhoga was prepared, the annakut we have, and Govardhan manifested the form of Krishna, and with his 2 arms he took all the offering and he consumed it in one go. Everything was, and he said, give me more, Anyor. And then Krishna, there was nothing left because everything was used up. Whatever they had, they prepared sweet rice and samosas and all different things Prabhupada described in the Krishna book. So everything was prepared and there was nothing left. So through this pastime also, Krishna established the identity of Govardhan Hill as non-different from him. Actually, Govardhan Hill is described by Radharani. Radharani speaks a verse in the Bhagavatam. Antaya madrira bala haridasa varyo yadarama Krishna charana sparasha pramodaha manam tanoti sahago gano yustayoryat paniya suya vasa kandara kandamulai. So Radharani said, oh, this Govardhan Hill is the best of the devotees, Haridasa Varya, because he's always serving Krishna and his devotees. He's always providing for Krishna and his devotees. There is nice Kandara. Kandara means caves on Govardhan, which have very perfect temperature, which provide seclusion for Krishna's pastimes. With the gopis and also with the cowherd boys, they play in the caves, and they are at a perfect temperature. And there is grass on Govardhan, which is very nice for the cows. Suyavasa is the grass, and there are there's nice paniya, there is nice ponds and waterfalls and things like that, which provide a very pleasing environment for Krishna and his cowherd friends and to conduct his pastimes. So Govardhan is serving Krishna in many different ways. And the cows, they eat this grass, which is very tasty, which is very nourishing. They don't fall sick. The grass is so nourishing, and they provide such nice milk for Krishna eating that grass. So Govardhan is serving Krishna and also all his devotees. So he's the greatest of all the devotees, Haridasa Varya. So Govardhan's identity is Krishna, and he's also Krishna's devotee. Just like we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna. We can say he's Krishna, he's Radha Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. But he's also in the form of a devotee. So Govardhan is Krishna and is Krishna's devotee simultaneously. You could say he is Haridasa Varya, the best of all the devotees, of the servants of Krishna. So Krishna established through this pastime of Govardhan that he is non-different from Govardhan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the acharyas, we have different acharyas. Sanatana Goswami, he used to circumambulate Govardhan every day. He had a fixed regulative principle of doing Govardhan Parikrama every day. How many times? Many times he would do. And so in his old age also, he wanted to do Govardhan Parikrama. But he was not, health-wise, he was not capable of doing it. So Krishna gave him a Govardhan Shila, and he told him to circumambulate that Govardhan Shila, which is there in the Radha Damodar temple. Actually, Krishna stood in a rock on Govardhan and he played his flute, and the rock melted, and this footprint of Krishna got imbibed on the Shila, and that Shila is right now in the Radha Damodar temple. And so all our great acharyas, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was given a Govardhan Shila and Gunjamala by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was worshipping that Govardhan Shila. And he also resided at Govardhan. In fact, he has written a song in which he says, Nija Nikata Nivasam, Nija Nikata Nivasam Govardhanapam. So he's saying that I want a residence near you, Govardhan. Can you please grant my request? So he was, of course, at Radhakund, he was speaking on Chaitanya Leela, because Raghunath Das Goswami also, he was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And after departure of Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to end his life by jumping off from Govardhan Hill. But then Rupa and Sanatana Goswami said, no, you have witnessed the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And so why don't you speak to us about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes? So in that assembly was also Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he attributes much of his Chaitanya Charitamrita to the Leela, Chaitanya Leela that he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami. So like that, many great acharyas, Prabhupada also wanted to do Govardhan Parikrama in his last days. And there was a big debate about whether Prabhupada could sustain this Parikrama because he was not in good health. Of course, he didn't decide to go, but there was a little debate, controversy, because he wanted to go, and then finally Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji came, and they convinced him not to go. So Govardhan Parikrama is also, there are many different pastime places of Krishna, and the Acharya Samadhi near Govardhan Hill. And in the Nectar of Instruction, it's described that of all the places, Vaikuntha is best, and superior to Vaikuntha is Mathura, because Krishna appeared in Mathura. Superior to Mathura is the forest of Vrindavan, because Krishna performed his pastimes. And then superior to Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, where Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill for 7 days and 7 nights and fulfilled all the desires of all the Brajvasis in this Leela. He reciprocated with all the devotees, because Gopas would feel separation during the night and Gopis would feel separation during the day when Krishna would go to the forest. So, but in this pastime, for 7 days and 7 nights, all the Brajvasis and all the cows and all the forest animals, and everybody was there under the Govardhan hill. So it's a very special pastime. It is said that Krishna was more displeased with Brahma than he was with Indra, although Indra's offense was more severe because he tried to kill the Vrajavasis. And to harm Krishna's pure devotees is a great offense. So, whereas Brahma only he tried to steal the Vrajavasis, right? The cowherd boys and the cows. But because he separated Krishna from his devotees, Krishna was more displeased with Brahma than he was with Indra, because although Indra tried to kill them, but he ended up uniting them under the Govardhan hill. So this Govardhan Leela, so Govardhan is serving Krishna in many ways, and we can learn many lessons. That one lesson is that Rakhe Krishna Mareke. If Krishna protects us, then nobody can kill us. And if Krishna wants to kill us, then nobody can protect us. And we have that example of Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavatam. Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him. In fact, he became upset. He became depressed because none of his strategies were working to kill Prahlad, because Krishna was protecting him. And here also Indra was trying to kill the Vrajavasis, but because they were protected by Krishna. And Hiranyakashipu, Krishna wanted to kill him. So despite all his boons, he could not be protected. Now the protection, sometimes, we think protection means our body has to be protected. But protection also means protection of the consciousness. Sometimes devotees lose their lives also, like Jatayu. Abhimanyu died in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Jatayu, while trying to stop Ravana, he was unsuccessful. But actually he was successful because Lord Ram came at his last moment and did the last rites for Jatayu, just like a son would do for a father. So protection means it's not just the protection of the physical body, because it's protection of our consciousness. So Indra became very proud in this Leela. Indra became very proud because he has all the Apsaras dancing for him. He has so much wealth, and he is a very capable person. He's the king of all the demigods. So he's a very capable person, and he has many abilities and he has a lot of power. But power sometimes intoxicates, right? So Krishna doesn't like pride in the heart of his devotees. So because he's a devotee and he has pride in his heart, so Krishna protected Indra. Just like he protected the Vrajavasis, he also protected Indra from becoming falsely proud and deviating from his actual position. So Krishna protects us in that way, in many different ways. So that is also, we learned that if Krishna wants to protect, then nobody can kill us. So we should take shelter of Krishna. In fact, the word Achyuta, the word Achyuta means one who never fails to protect his devotees. One meaning of Achyuta is that he never comes under the modes of material nature, but also that he never fails to protect his devotees. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna gives many assurances like that. Kaunteya pratichanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He says, so Arjuna, declare it boldly that my devotee will never perish. So aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma suchaha. Don't worry, I will protect you. I will provide for you. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. I will carry what you lack and I'll preserve what you have. So like that, Krishna gives many assurances. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vishesi satyam te pratijane priyosime. I promise you, because you are my very dear friend, you come to me. If you become conscious of me, you will overcome all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Matchita sarva durgani mat prashadat tarishyasi. Atha chetva mahankaram nashroshyasi vinakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will overcome all obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. But if you act out of false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So like that, Krishna is giving a lot of assurances in Bhagavad Gita. And so we should take shelter of Krishna. And especially in this age, we take shelter of Krishna through the holy name. Because Kali Kale Namru Krishna Avatar. In this age, Krishna has incarnated as his holy name. So we should only surrender to Krishna. That is what Krishna is demonstrating through this pastime. Okay, so then what else can we learn? So when Govardhan was asking for more and more food and there was nothing left, then a tulsi leaf was offered. So the tulsi leaf can satisfy Krishna. So Krishna is satisfied by this tulsi leaf. In the Advaita Acharya, he worshipped his Shila. Maybe it's Narsingha Shila. He was worshipping it with tulsi leaf and water, Ganges water. So tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulukenava vikrinitam swamatmanam vikrinite swamatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. So it is described that just by offering a palmful of water, tulasi dala matrena, dala is the petal, just matrena means only by tulsi leaf and jalasya chulukenava, a palmful of water, one can satisfy Krishna. So we have patram pushpam phalam toyam, so that also the water and tulsi patram is specifically referring to tulsi leaf. Prabhupada writes in his purport in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna does not like pride in the heart of his devotees. So he also arranges to another lesson. So what happened? Indra became everybody was celebrating this festival of worshipping Govardhan Hill and circumambulating Govardhan Hill, but everybody was happy but for Indra, because Indra was getting his respect every year. So he had kind of become habituated to getting respect every year. So Prabhupada says humility means one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. In verse number 13.8 through 12, where all the qualities are described, the 20 qualities that Krishna says, these are knowledge. Amanitvam, matam vitvam, ahimsa, shanti rarjavam, acharya upasnam, saucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha. So it starts with amanitvam, and Prabhupada elaborates on each quality on that. So he gives a nice one-line statement of humility. He says, humility means one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. So he was expecting this respect and he didn't get it. So he became outraged. So humility also means to not have much expectation of respect. But how can we be like that? When we are satisfied within, when we are satisfied from our devotional. So one automatically becomes humble when he is satisfied in his devotional service to Krishna, because he's experiencing that higher taste. So he's not hankering for any kind of taste from somebody else, from glorification by somebody, because he's Atmaram, he becomes Atmaram. So he feels so satisfied in his heart from chanting the holy name, from doing devotional service to Krishna, from preaching Krishna consciousness, that he's not hankering for respect. He's just like if you have eaten a nice meal, then you're not hankering for food because you are satisfied. So Krishna consciousness can bring us to this platform of self-satisfaction. Ye atma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahetukiya pratihata ye atma suprasidati. So we can become completely satisfied if we do pure devotional service. It is described that it brings about all relief from all distress, Klesha, Agni, and Shubhada. It is the beginning of auspiciousness. So Indra was dissatisfied because he didn't get the respect. So he spoke a nice verse, which is in the Bhagavatam. Vachalam balisham stabdam panditam agyam panditam manina. He says this vachalam, this talkative, vachalam balisham, this childlike, balish stabdam, arrogant, agyam, ignorant, pandita manina. He thinks himself as a great pandit. The Vrajvasis have stopped my sacrifice and instead they are worshipping a hill. I will show to them. So Sridhar Swami gives a nice, in the purport, in the Bhagavatam, Sridhar Swami's commentary is mentioned. And he says, actually Indra is glorifying because he's saying, Vachalam. Vachalam means one who speaks according to Vedic authority. So Indra is saying, yes, Krishna is speaking according to Vedic authority. He always speaks according to Vedic. Balisham is free from all pretense. Balisham means he's like a balak. He's like a child. Child is without any pretense. So he speaks without any pretense. Stabdam actually means arrogant, but Krishna is so great that he doesn't need to bow down to anybody. So he said, yeah, it's correct. He's Stabdam. He doesn't need to bow down to anybody. Vachalam, Balisham, Stabdam. Agyam. Agyam means ignorant. He's ignorant. Indra is saying but he's saying, Sridhar Swami is saying, no, he doesn't need to. He knows everything. He doesn't need to know anything else. Everything he knows. Vedaham samatitani vartmanani cha Arjuna. Bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashyana. Krishna says, I know everything that has happened in the past, what is going to happen in the future. And Pandita Manina. So the great Pandits, they consider him they respect Krishna. So he said, Sridhar Swami is saying, oh, actually Indra is glorifying Krishna. He's taking a different viewpoint. These different words mean different things. So anyhow, so Indra was very outraged. And then he called for his Sanvartaka clouds. And we know he pounded Vrindavan. Sanvartaka clouds were initially hesitant to actually, because they had seen when Krishna went high up in the air with Trinavarta. Trinavarta actually took him up in the air. And Krishna had choked Trinavarta to death. So Sanvartaka clouds at that time had observed, this little boy, how powerful he is. So initially when Indra told the Sanvartaka clouds that you should go and destroy Vrindavan, they were saying, for them it's not a big project because they do a big project like destroying the whole universe. So destroying a small village. But when they heard about Krishna, then they were little, they knew Krishna's power. So they were saying, really, we want to go and destroy this Vrindavan, this Krishna. And Indra said, yes, go for it. Because Indra was also very intoxicated by his pride and he just wanted to get rid of all the Vrajavasis and all Krishna. So Sanvartaka clouds came and then, it started raining so heavily. It was raining in pillars, the thunder lightning was going on and the wind started blowing. And in no time, everything was water. Everything was submerged in water. So when this happened, all the Vrajavasis, when they have any calamity in their life, they take shelter of Krishna. So they went to Krishna. Krishna, you stop this Indra Puja. Now, Indra has become angry with us, so you please do something about it. So in the Anand Vrindavan Champu by Kavi Karnapur, this pastime is described. When Krishna actually, when he went to fight Kaliya, he tightened his belt. When he would wrestle with the Gopas, his friends, he would tighten his belt. But this time what he did, he didn't bother to tighten his belt. He just went and he lifted the Govardhan, the hill, the whole huge hill, he lifted on the most weakest part of the body. This is the little finger of the left hand. To show to Indra that you are no match. And by lifting this mountain, he destroyed this pride that was in Indra's heart. So, and he told all the Vrajavasis that you come and come underneath the Govardhan hill. And all the Vrajavasis, on Krishna's assurance, they all came. And in there it is described that there was a boundary wall that was created around the hill so that no water would come from outside. And other places it says the Sudarshan Chakra was evaporating all the water that was falling. And all the Vrajavasis, they came underneath Govardhan hill. And then a nice conversation happens underneath Govardhan hill. So Krishna is looking at everybody is looking at Krishna. And Yashodama is also in anxiety. There is Madhumangal, there is Subal, Stoka Krishna, and all the friends, all the Gopas, Gopa friends are there, all the Gopis are there, Radharani is there, everybody, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, everybody is there underneath the hill. So Madhumangal tells Krishna, and this conversation is mentioned in Anand Vrindavan Champu. So Madhumangal tells Krishna, Krishna, if you feel tired, I'm a Brahmana, I have Brahma Tejas. You just give the hill to me, I will hold it on my stick. So if you feel tired, you give the hill to me. Now Yashoda is looking from her point of view of motherly love. She's in Vatsalya Rasa, so she's telling Krishna, Krishna, you have become so arrogant and so restless. Why did you have to stop this Indra Puja? See what is the outcome now. Now you have to lift this whole huge hill. Your hand is so soft and this hill is so hard, and your hand is like soft like butter, and you have to hold this huge hill. What must you be going through? So she was thinking from her motherly point of view that her child is in so much distress and is going through a hard time. So she started kissing the hand of Krishna, and she started, like telling Krishna that, why did you? She was scolding Krishna, and she started praying to Giriraj. Giriraj, if you are some kind of a great personality, then please become light so that my Gopal doesn't have to feel the weight that of your huge weight on his finger. And so then Madhu Mangal is saying, how can you say actually Krishna is in distress? Krishna is not in distress. If Krishna did not lift this Govardhan hill, then see, we would not have seen this beautiful form of Giridhari, Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. And this is so wonderful, so sweet. And Yashoda is saying, how can you call this sweet? My child is going through so much difficulty. Look at his face. His face has become wilted like, a lotus in the snow. And there are drops of perspiration on his head. And you are calling this a sweet pastime? And then Krishna, to comfort his mother, Krishna said, Maya, I am not feeling any pain. Actually, we worship Govardhan so nicely. So Govardhan has become light on my hand. And I'm just putting my hand, I'm just balancing. Yashoda is not ready to believe, because she still thinks that Krishna is in distress. So she's saying, yes, if Govardhan is light, then he should remove himself from your finger and float around like a feather in the sky. Just move around in the sky. Then I will know that he's light. And Madhu Mangal is saying, no, it's not actually Krishna who is lifting the Govardhan hill. Actually, I'm a Brahmana and I have chanted mantras. And it is the power of my mantras that is holding the hill up. Krishna is just putting his hand and is taking the credit. But actually, like Gopas, they never give credit to Krishna. When all the Gopas went, into Aghasur's body, and then later on, Krishna was telling about how, I saved you from the Aghasur demon. The Gopas were saying, no, actually we went inside and we did everything. And then you came in later and you took all the credit. You didn't kill Putana, actually, because Yashoda chanted mantras to Lord Narayan, and that's what saved you from Putana. So they are not ready to accept that Krishna is doing wonderful things. Sometimes they also say that Krishna is so powerful because he eats the food cooked by Radharani. That's why he's got the strength to lift this Govardhan. So Yashoda was besides herself, because Madhu Mangal is making jokes and Yashoda is feeling so much distress. She's saying, she started scolding Madhu Mangal. Madhu Mangal, why are you making so much fun? See how my child is in distress and you are joking? This is not good. And Nanda Maharaj is saying, no, actually Krishna likes the jokes of Madhu Mangal. See, he is laughing. And so his friend is encouraging him. Why are you stopping him from encouraging? So like that, there was a nice conversation going on. Gopal Champu describes that there were nice valleys and nice grass for the cows to graze upon beneath the Govardhan hill. While on the top of the hill, there was like a storm going on. So then Krishna's one hand was tucked in his dhoti, and with his right hand was tucked in his dhoti, and with his left hand he was holding the hill. So then what happened? Then Krishna took out his flute and he started playing on the flute. So now everybody was worried, because when Krishna plays on his flute, then what happens? The movable things stop moving and the immovable things start moving. The rivers that are moving, they come to a standstill because of hearing Krishna's flute. They become stunned in ecstasy and the stones melt. So they were worried. So one Gopa is telling another Gopa, Krishna, don't play your flute, don't play your flute. Because if you play your flute, then Govardhan who is like a mountain, will melt in ecstasy. And if Govardhan melts, then we all will be finished. We all will be finished because we are under Govardhan hill. So, and another Gopa said, no, Govardhan is a great personality. And great personality can restrain their ecstasy. They will not show it in public. So Govardhan is a great personality. He's not going to go into ecstasy. He knows how to restrain himself. So like that, they were talking. Then one Gopa said, Krishna is looking at Radharani. So Radharani was there. So it says, Radharani, don't move your eyebrows because your eyebrows are like the bow of Cupid. If you move your eyebrows, then Krishna will feel that love of Radharani and he will tremble in ecstasy. And if Krishna trembles, then the hill will fall on us. So like that, at that time, actually Radharani looked at Krishna, Krishna looked at Radharani, Krishna felt Radharani's love and he started trembling and the hill started shaking on Krishna's hand. So hill was shaking and all the Gopas were thinking, oh, Krishna is getting tired, Krishna is getting tired. So we need to help him. So they were also putting their sticks. If you look at that picture in the Govardhan Leela, Krishna holding the Govardhan hill, there are Gopas who are holding their sticks underneath. And so like that, they were having a lot of adventurous pastimes underneath Govardhan hill. While on top of Govardhan, there was like, Indra was pounding and pounding. His strategy was to blow the hill off. So he called his clouds, and after some time, the clouds got exhausted. They reported back to Indra that we cannot do anything. So Indra personally came also on his Eravat elephant, and with his Vajra, he was attacking. And what happened? The Sanvartaka clouds, it is described that there were lions on the Govardhan hill. They were also in ecstasy, because anybody who is in touch with Krishna's, Govardhan was in ecstasy. The lions on the hill also were in ecstasy, and they were attacking the Sanvartaka clouds like they were elephants. And the Sanvartaka clouds were experiencing agony from this attack, and they were going higher and higher up. So anybody who is in touch with Krishna, this is another lesson, that anybody who is in touch with Krishna will not feel the pangs and pains of material existence. The more we come in touch with Krishna, then we will become aloof. Prabhupada says in one purport, we can be put into any condition of life, but God gives us, Krishna gives us the right, the prerogative to chant Hare Krishna. If we chant Hare Krishna, then we will never be unhappy in any condition of life. So this chanting of Hare Krishna is such a great blessing that aho bhir na kaler viduyate sudha sudhara madhuram pade pade dine dine chandana chandra shitalam yasho yashoda tanayasya giyate. It is described that in Kali Yuga there is a lot of trouble, but one will not be troubled by Kali Yuga. Rather one will experience a soothing, cooling effect if one glorifies the son of Yashoda and sings his glories, chants the Hare Krishna mantra. Then these miseries will not affect us. Of course, there are miseries. I'm talking about very advanced devotees there. Like we see Prabhupada, how during his last days he was in such clear consciousness and he was dictating the purports of Bhagavatam. So one can come to that platform of becoming, undisturbed in material distress by connecting to Krishna. If you have an anchor, this material world is always, is turbulent with so many ways. But if you are anchored to Krishna, then we will experience safety, we'll experience his protection, and we'll feel satisfied and we'll be happy. Even in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is described, Guru Napi Vichalyate. Even in the midst of the greatest calamity, he is not disturbed. So, of course, that's a very high level of consciousness. But this is the, Kapila Dev also says, Mad Ashraya Kathamritha Shrinvanti Kathayanti Cha Tapanti Vividhastapa Leitan Madgata Chetasa. And one who hears and chants the glories of Krishna, Mad Ashraya Kathamritha Shrinvanti Kathayanti Cha. There may be different types of vividhastapa. There are so many different kinds of miseries, but One whose consciousness is fixed on me, he will not experience. So this is the way we can, in this turbulent material world, we can feel happy actually by taking shelter of Krishna. And Prabodhananda Saraswati also says that Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. For the one who has taken shelter, who has got slight trace of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, then for him this whole world is a very, very happy place. So this is the the lesson, one lesson that we can derive from. And Govardhan actually, of course, I don't know how long we can go on. It's 9:15, but what do you think? How long we can go on? This,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, 1 hour, 15
1 hour?
minutes.
Okay. So Govardhan also, as Indra was pouring rain on Govardhan, and Govardhan was getting it was feeling like a nice abhishek. Govardhan had become a little dirty from many years, and so when the rain was coming, it was washing it was getting a nice abhishek. When Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, there were many, many, many different trees on Govardhan, and all the flowers from the different trees it is described, they fell as if celebrating the lifting of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. So Govardhan appeared in Satya Yuga, and he was cursed by Pulatsya Muni that he will sink the size of a mustard seed. So Govardhan was very tall in those days, but as time progressed, the Govardhan has become now the height has decreased. And when Govardhans will be completely gone, then Kali Yuga will manifest in full force. So there is a 10,000-year golden period in Kali Yuga when the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya will spread. But after that, Kali Yuga will manifest in full force. So there's also a pastime I heard about Hanumanji, when in Treta Yuga, when Lord Ram appeared, then Hanumanji was given the task of building the bridge along with other Vanaras. So they were uprooting all different mountains and different rocks, and they were putting it on the bridge. And so when he came to Braj area, he was going to use Govardhan, and Govardhan was very excited to be used in the service of Lord Ram. So when Hanumanji came and he was going to lift Govardhan, there was a message that the bridge has been completed and there is no more need of any rocks or anything like that. So then Govardhan became very upset that he was given an opportunity to serve. He was anticipating the opportunity to serve, and he was deprived of the opportunity to serve. So Hanumanji blessed him by saying that, okay, in Treta Yuga you didn't have the opportunity, but when in Dwapar Yuga, the next Yuga, when Krishna will come, he will daily come and play on you. So in this verse, it is described, Yad Rama Krishna Charanas Parasha Pramodaha. So every day Ram, Krishna and all the Gopas, Balram, Krishna and all the Gopas and the cows, they would come on Govardhan. And Govardhan got the opportunity to serve Krishna. So he was satisfied. And Govardhan would also be lifted for 7 days and 7 nights. So Hanumanji's prediction also came true. So whatever the devotees say, whatever the devotees give blessings, that will always come true. That's why Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Because Arjuna, he says, oh Arjuna, you declare it boldly that my devotee will never perish. Because the devotee's vachan, Krishna wants to make sure, because he's going to break his promise in Kurukshetra war. He's going to pick up a weapon to uphold Bhishma's promise and to protect Arjuna. Because Bhishma said, I will make Krishna break his promise, or Arjuna will die. Either of these two things will happen. So Krishna broke his promise to protect Arjuna. So Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. We see that in many instances in the Bhagavatam also. Nrsimhadev came and he killed Hiranyakashipu, who maintained all the boons that were given by Brahma. All of them were intact. Even Narad Muni, he promised Kayadu that your son will always be protected. And so nobody could destroy Prahlad Maharaj. Nobody could do any harm because he had the blessing of Narad Muni. So the devotees' blessings are very, very potent. And so Hanumanji blessed Govardhan, and Govardhan got the opportunity, or every day he was serving Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. So after 7 days of pounding, Indra realized, oh, it's not working. So he realized that I'm dealing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was humiliated because everybody was watching. He is the king, and he's trying with all his might. He's trying to, kill the Vrajvasis, but nothing is working. So then, after 7 days, he realized that he has done a great blunder. So he goes to his guru Brihaspati and says, "Now what should I do?" Brihaspati says, "Yeah, this is a very serious offense. It is one thing there is different levels of offenses. One is to think of devotees in a negative way or envious way. Then another is to say something about those, to blaspheme the devotees. We have the first offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives. And then the third offense is even higher, is to cause some violence to the devotees and to kill them." So he had made the greatest blunder. And to all the pure devotees of Krishna, the Vrajavasis, nobody is higher than the Vrajavasis. So he went to Brihaspati, and Brihaspati said, "Yeah, you've made a great mistake. Only way you can be pardoned, you go to Krishna, take somebody who is dear to Krishna, and keeping them in front, offer your prayers." So Indra took the Surbi cow. The cow is very dear to Surbi cow, is very dear to Krishna. So the lesson is that we have also offended Krishna. We have come to the material world. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata. Out of envy of Krishna, we have come, and now we are claiming we are the proprietor of everything. We have usurped Krishna's property. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, but we have usurped Krishna's property and we are claiming it. So we are offenders. So if we want to approach Krishna, we have to take shelter of those who are very dear to Krishna. And those are the pure devotees of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, like that. So if we take shelter of those who are dear to Krishna, and when we approach Krishna through them, then our petition will be accepted. So this is how Indra came down with Surabhi cow, and he offered his prayers, which is described in the Bhagavatam. There's a whole chapter on that. And he offered his prayers, he accepted his faults. Surabhi did his abhishek with the milk. Airavat, the elephant, also came, and he brought some water from the heavenly planets, and he did abhishek of Krishna. There is Airavat Kund, there is Govind Kund. These are all the places at Govardhan. And Krishna got the name Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. So in this pastime, it is described in the Bhagavatam. And of course, Brahma says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Brahma is at the beginning of the creation. He's already saying Govindam Adi Purusham. So then all the demigods came down. Brahma came, Lord Shiva came, Anantasesh, everybody was there. They were doing an arti of Krishna. And Krishna was made to sit on a throne, and Brahma was offering his arti to Krishna. Lord Shiva was there and he was praying. Anantasesh was there, and everybody was offering with all the demigod paraphernalia. They had big chamaras, they had the lamp, the arti lamp, big. The demigods, they are from a different realm, so all their paraphernalia was there. And this was all happening at Govinda Kund. And all little boys came, the Gopas came, and they saw this wonderful thing going on. And so after the demigods left, then all the Vrajvasis, Nanda Baba and other Gopas came, and they saw all this big paraphernalia, the chamara and the lamp and everything. And they were thinking, how did this all come? And the little boys, they asked the boys who were playing there. They said, oh, we saw all the demigods, this big, beautiful looking people, they came and they were fanning Krishna and they were offering arti to Krishna. And the Gopas were not ready to believe. Just like in Damodar Leela also, when Krishna, pulled the trees down, then the Gopas told the Vrajavasi, oh, actually Krishna pulled the trees down, but they were not ready to believe because they knew Krishna. They think Krishna is our little child. He is crying for milk and he is running in fear when there is thunder and lightning. How can this person be so powerful or so that demigods have to come? So after the demigods left, the Gopas took all that paraphernalia and they started playing with those paraphernalia. And they had seen the arati of Krishna. So they took all the paraphernalia and they were offering arati to Krishna, just like imitating the demigods. And Krishna was enjoying very much. Krishna was enjoying this arati, that was because it was done out of spontaneous love of the Vrajavasis. There was no ritual. You have to do 7 times or this, like that. There was no ritual like that. They were just like playing with Krishna, and Krishna was enjoying it. The demigods were looking down and they were looking at all the Gopas doing this arati of Krishna, and they were thinking, what is this Vrajavasi's devotion? How spontaneously they are attracted to Krishna. Wish we could also have this devotion. So Vrajavasis are considered the highest, and of all the Vrajavasis, Ramya Kachit Upasna Vrajavadu Vargena Yakalpita. The gopis are considered to be the highest. So Uddhav also was sent to Vrindavan with a message from Krishna, not only because he was a very trusted messenger of Krishna, but also so that he could learn from the devotion of the Vrajavasis. So, so the Vrajavasis have such spontaneous love for Krishna, and Krishna was enjoying that arati very much, and like that. So, but what happened? Indra again forgot his lesson. When Krishna was in Dwarka and he got, Narad Muni gave Parijat flower to Rukmini Devi, then Satyabhama said, I want the whole Parijat tree. And Krishna had to go to the heavenly planets to get the Parijat tree. And Indra again said, no, you cannot take the Parijat tree. This belongs to the heavenly abode. You cannot take it. And then there was like a fight and Krishna had to get. So sometimes, Krishna had, the lesson had already happened when Krishna was 7 years old. When he was Dwarka, he was probably around 90, 100 years old. So many years had passed. And again, Indra kind of forgot. So of course, we should not think that Indra is not. Sometimes we also say that Krishna uses his devotees to teach us a lesson. Actually, Indra is a great devotee because we read in the Bhagavatam, Ete chansha kala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge. When the enemies of Indra disturb, then Krishna advents. So Krishna is coming for Indra. Indra Ari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So Indra is a devotee, but he's a devotee he's a Sakama devotee. In one purport in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes that demigods are Sakama devotees. The Lord. They have material desires, they are worshipping Krishna, but they have material desires. So as soon as they are in difficulty, they will go to Krishna or Vishnu to ask for, like we see in the Vritrasur pastime also, when Vritrasur was disturbing them, they went to Vishnu, and Vishnu said, okay, you go to Dadichi. And so like that, whenever there is difficulty, they approach Krishna because they are attached to their position also. They want. In that purport, Prabhupada writes, Akama Bhakta will never disturb the Lord, even when he's in the midst of difficulty. So they are attached to their position. Indra is very attached to his position, as we see in the Bhagavatam. But he's a great devotee. So, and Krishna uses his great devotees to teach us a lesson. Like we say that when the newly married bride, Prabhupada gives the example, newly married bride comes in the house, then the mother will instruct the daughter-in-law. Mother will instruct the daughter. And through the daughter, although the daughter knows, but through the daughter, she's teaching the newly married bride, how to, because directly if she tells, then it may not go well with the newly married bride. So sometimes Krishna also uses his devotees as a lesson, to teach us a lesson as what to do, what not to do. So like that, this is it's all 9:30. So maybe I'll take a stop here. I'll stop here. Anything you would like to say, or maybe I made some errors or something?
No, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for our today's very, very nectarian lecture on the Govardhan Leela. The details that you described were very heart-touching, Prabhuji. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again for today's very nectarian class. Prabhuji, do we have a time to take the question answer session if anybody have any questions are there? Hi Krishna, is my voice is audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
So do you have a time to take
Yeah,
the
I
question?
mean, I have time, but yeah.
Okay. So I request to everyone, if you have any question, any realization, so just raise your hands and feel free to ask to Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. If anybody have any question or a realization, please share. Hari Bol. Okay. Murugappa's iPhone, can you please unmute yourself? Yes,
Yeah, I
Prabhuji.
guess I had a question. At the end, you said they're attached to their material, positions, but they're still great devotees. It seems contradictory to me. How could you be both?
So they are not pure devotees. There is pure devotees and there are mixed devotees. So pure devotees are anya bilachita shunyam. So they don't have any material desires, but there are mixed devotees. So they have desires to enjoy, but they want to enjoy in a pious way. They're not sinful. They want to enjoy in a pious way. They like so many nice things. So they are not completely. I mean, they are devotees, but they have material desires to enjoy. So that's why they are called sakama bhaktas. And there is nishkama bhaktas, or the pure devotees who don't have material desires. So you can worship Krishna. Bhagavatam says, akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha param. Akama sarva kama va. Even if you have all material desires, still you should worship Krishna intensely. Tivrena bhakti yogena. Like Dhruva Maharaj. Then one day everybody will become pure. If we realize, sometimes material desires, we realize that these material desires are not really my friends. They are keeping me in the cycle of birth and death. And Krishna also gives us that, realization by we go through so many experiences. Then slowly we will also give up material desires. So everybody can become pure devotee. That's the mission of Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes in his Bhagavad Gita, even if one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we'll consider our mission a success. So, of course, I am nowhere there, but I'm just saying this is what sakama and nishkama. Nishkama means without any material desire. So they just want to serve Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. And when you serve Krishna selflessly, then you actually experience the most happiness. So, because Krishna reciprocates with pure devotees, and then it is one symptom of pure devotionals is described. Sandridan Ananda Visheshatma. It is condensed bliss. Pure devotional service is condensed bliss. So it puts you in a very. So of course, everybody starts in a mixed devotee, and then as we progress on the path, and one day we become pure. So that is how it is. Yeah. Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Barzana Rani Mati, do you have any question? I just think you raise your hand. Barzana Rani Mati, yes.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. I just thinking like how Hanumanji know about Krishna's incarnation and appearance, because I heard like Hanumanji told the Govardhan, here Krishna will come and play in a Dwapar Yuga. So
sometimes devotees, they are empowered, they can know. They are sometimes described as Trikalagna. So they can know like Ved Vyas. He's a literary incarnation of Krishna, but he's writing in Kali Yuga what is going to happen in Kali Yuga. In the 12th canto, you see all the description is given. So the devotees can know by the grace of the Lord what is coming up.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Narad
Krishna.
Muni also sometimes can know so many things, so the pure devotees can know. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as of now, no more hand raised. So, if you allow, can we wrap up our call here?
Yes, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
And thank you so much, Prabhuji, for hearing a very,
Thanks
very
to Bhavag Rai,
nectarian.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I heartily request to all the Vaishnavas to please join tomorrow morning session from the same Zoom link. It's 7:30 a.m. CST and 8:30 a.m. EST. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again. And we have a one request, Prabhuji. Please timely come to Parthsarthi Foundation evening classes so we can hear the more nectarian and detailed classes by our Divine Master Prabhuji. So,
Yeah, I'm not very knowledgeable. I just, whatever I've read and heard and other devotees have said, I'm just...
No, Prabhuji, there are so many points of which we not heard in Govardhan Lila, which you tell today, Prabhuji. So it's really, really very nectarian class, seriously, Prabhuji. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
With all the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pancha kalptaruvasya kapa sindhu bhaiva cha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Prem Sindhu Das Prabhuji ki jai, Prabhuji Bhakton ki jai,
Vaishnavrind ki jai.
Hare
Jai
Krishna,
Jai Shri
Prabhuji.
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again. Please
Hare
timely
Krishna.
come to Parthsarthi
Hare
Foundation.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Then Pranam.